Hey guys, what's up? So today I'm going to show you a card trick that's called the rising card. So to get into this trick, we're going to get rid of the box for now, and we're going to have a card selected. It can be a free choice, so we're going to give this deck a shuffle, just like that, and we're going to have a card selected at random. Let's say we go for the King of Spades. We're going to have the King of Spades return to the pack, and we're going to give this one more shuffle. Just like that, and we're going to give it a few cuts. Just like that. And now we're going to need the box again. So I'm going to have the cards placed into an empty box. Just like that, and watch this. I'm going to take this box and I'm going to hold it right here, and I want you to watch really closely, because one card is going to reveal itself right now. Just like so. The King of Spades, and the card box is empty, and there are no strings attached. That was the rising card with no strings, no fancy gimmick, just a regular deck of cards. And let's get into how it's done. So let's get into how the rising card effect works. So you have a card selected from the deck, returned to the deck, you put it in the box, and it just rises out from the deck, just like that. Okay, so let's get into what all you need to get this trick done. You will require some preparation, and I'm gonna let you know what other things you need. And I know some of you think that you need like fancy gimmicks and all that. I'm gonna show you how to do this at home with supplies you already have. Okay, so the things you need is a deck of cards, box cutter, and some clear or magic or transparent tape. Not double-sided, just single-sided, clear transparent tape. So we're going to get to the tape in a little bit. Right now we're going to look at the box. So there are no rubber bands and fancy cards that you have to push your card into and all that stuff. We're not going to use anything like that. It's an ordinary deck that you can hand off for inspection. And that's what I really like about this effect. So you're going to have your deck of cards. You need to do nothing to this. We're going to keep this aside for a while. What we need to modify is the card box. And the way we need to modify it is by taking our box cutter and cutting a lip from here down like that, around like that, three-way. So it's something that rises up like that. You don't want to cut it out, because then you can see through it. It's a better way to lift it up when you need it, and just leave it that way. So after that slight modification, the U-cut or whatever you want to call it, just about 3/4 of the box up, and the width of the box. You want to leave some room for the box so the box doesn't fall apart. That's all you have to do. And if I really just spin this around in my hand, you really won't be able to catch it because it's not cut off. And if I hold it from here, I can even literally hold the deck like this, and you won't be able to make out. Like, can you tell me if you can see that? Because I'm covering the main slit. So that's what's really good. And I can show you the box from inside. It's empty. All I have to do that. So let's get into how this trick is done. So after you cut yourself this tongue or lip, you're gonna use some tape, and this is where the tape comes in handy. So some transparent tape, and what you want to do is put your hand in there, and you want to, from just the center, you want to put some clear tape really nicely. No bubbles, no seams, so you really can't make out that there's tape over there. And you're gonna leave that there, and you're gonna use it to attach this lip to the bottom of the box, and you're not using it, so it really doesn't keep coming apart and it doesn't get ruined. That's the main purpose of the tape. If you don't want it, you just don't put it. But I'd rather have it there, because when I'm showing the box empty, it's more convincing. I can hold it there for a little longer because there's no light coming in. Okay, so let's get rid of the tape right now. Okay, let me get rid of this piece of tape quickly. There we go. Let's free up this box slip. Perfect. Okay, so now how after all the setup is done, it's basically how this trick works. Let's get rid of all of this stuff for now. So you're gonna have your deck of cards, and you're gonna have a card freely selected. Sorry, you're gonna have a card freely selected. So in this case, we have the 4 diamonds. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna have the card returned to the deck, and you're gonna have to control the card either to the bottom of the deck or to the top of the deck, just like that. And if you don't know how to control a card, I'll show you the way I'll teach you the way I did it in the performance. But if you really want more ways and easier ways or more complicated ways to control a card, there's a video coming up tomorrow that'll teach you how to control cards, so keep an eye out for that. So you have your card. The way I did it is this false boss, or whatever you want to call it. You have it returned in the bottom or in the middle of the deck. You show them that you're pushing it in, and while you're covering it up, the slightest action while squaring up brings it to the bottom. So let me show you an exposed view. I put it in, but when I pick this packet up to push it in and square up the deck, what I'm doing is I'm catching a pinky break when I lay the top packet on top. And what that helps me do is, if I grab the packet from here, and this is an exposed view of what's happening, this is what's happening. While I'll leave the packet a little messed up, so if let me do this face up for you. So if what's happening under the cover of this hand, I'll show you without the cover. This is what's happening. So my hand's actually covering because I'm going to tilt forward. So the hand's going to cover this card, come out and go to the bottom. But if I leave it, if I don't cover it, this is what's going to look like. And that same motion from the perspective of your viewer was going to look something like that, or better if you're on the top, it's going to look something like you push it in, you square up the pack just like that. It's completely not angle sensitive, and it's one of the best ways to control the card to the bottom. If you want to know how to control a card to the top, if you fancy that, the most elegant way is to use the classic pass, or you can use the bluff pass, where you say you take this there and you're going to cut the packet just like that. You're going to cut the cards, and just that motion controls it to the top. There are a lot of ways, but if you really want to do it, there's a video I'm going to put up on the different types of passes, and this was the classic pass. There are a lot of ways to do a pass. There are easier ways, there are more fancy ways, there are more cleaner ways. So this is what I did. Put it in the middle, control it to the bottom. This is completely not angle sensitive. And once you have their card, say the 2 of spades, traveled and controlled to the bottom of the deck, now you're going to use the box. So what I do is I keep my hand there, and the way I keep my finger is it's going to lie like that. So it's going to hit this part as well as the card that we cut out, So when I show you that the box is empty, it actually looks empty. So I'm going to show you like that the box is empty, and then I'm going to turn it this way, face up. I'm going to have the cards put in face down, and I do that. And then while I'm fixing, the reason you fix this is you're going to spend some time fixing this and that, is that you're going to convince them you really want them to see what's happening. And in the meantime, all I'm doing is I'm going to lift this up, and I'm going to place my finger on the bottom of this card. So when I do that, I already have control. But what the difficult part is, I don't want other cards rising up with it as well. So what I do is I lean it, I tilt it a little bit forward because gravity helps me there. So what I'm going to do is that, and what my finger is doing here is that. That's what my finger is doing. And after the card is ready, you can tell them to literally go and grab it out of the deck. As soon as they grab it, you want to take your hand and you want to make this deck fall into the palm of your hand. And that's where the tape comes in handy, because if you've got tape over here, Let's put some tape there. Okay, if you've got some tape, and as soon as you, okay. As soon as you let the box fall in your hand, you can use your pinky finger to like guide the tape into position, and your box is almost show-proof. You can show it to them again, it's empty, leave it down. So that's the way you can do the rising card effect. Let's get into some of the more advanced tips and tricks of this trick. So there's another way to do this trick, and that's, I just made a quick little gimmick that I've seen a lot of my fellow magicians use. It's something like this. It's a rubber band attached to two cards, and it looks something like this. So you have the problem with this is you have to use less than a deck of cards, because if I place this into the deck, it gets really tight inside there, and the card really can't rise. So you have to have a different deck to use. You can't really perform an impromptu. So you have to get rid of about 10-12 cards, and you have this on the bottom of the deck, and you tell them to flick a card. Or you can have this even, you know, in the sandwich in the middle, and use this, push off, ask them to pick a card. And as soon as they pick the card, then you want to place it between the rubber bands, just like that. And the problem with this is it looks a little bit messy, because when you push this in, it wants to slide out of the other edge. So you want to hold it there, just like that. And this is really angle sensitive, because you can't really turn it up, turn it on the side. So once you've done that, you have to keep pressure, because if I let the pressure go, the card's going to pop out. So you want to push it in, squeeze it down, then you want to push it in the box, which is weird, because when the spectator is looking, they're going to wonder why you're applying so much pressure onto that deck. And then you're going to push it in the box, and then you're going to have to hold pressure onto the box, and then when you leave it, the card will rise from the center, not from the back, obviously. And when you pull it out, after you've pulled it out, that's why that comes out. You can't really hand out everything for inspection. I can't give them the deck, and because they're going to find that sandwich smack dab in the middle of the deck. So I find that's a bullshit gimmick, and I really don't like it. So this is my favorite way of performing it. You have that card selected, say the 9 of spades. You put it in. All you're going to do is lift up you don't need tape there while you're performing it. Let's get rid of the tape. Okay, that's a stubborn piece of tape. Perfect. Okay, you push it in. Look at that, the lip is also gone. And you use your finger to get that card up, just like that. And that's the most elegant, clean, and quick way to do it. You can hand out the deck for inspection, and no one will suspect a thing. And you get to keep the tape, put it back on, and your box is ready to keep your cards in, because nothing's going to happen to your cards if there's no opening in it. So that's what I do, put it back in the box and go about my business, and whenever I need to do it, I always have it handy. So this is the rising card effect, and it's one of my favorite effects when, you know, someone walks up to you and says, "Oh, show me something that's really magical." I'm like, okay, I'll show you how to make a card rise on itself. So this is one of an effect that's really close to my heart, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, please subscribe, and share this video. It really helps me out a bunch. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next video.